one of the top experts in the world on sales.
King of collaboration.
He's on the cutting edge, and what he does works.
Jim Padilla.
CEO of Gain the Edge.
He is the leader when it comes to sales and conversions.
A sales and business coach to some of the biggest names in the country.
Jim Padilla is known as the go-to guy for all things sales.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're dialing in from. Thanks for joining us here in the Make More Sales podcast. And we're here to talk about making a difference, making magic happen. And as we always talk about, making more sales without you actually having to be better at selling. There are so many things you can do in your world, in your business, in your life to structure your environment so that people show up predisposed to wanting to buy from you and work with you. And then that gets them 90% of the way there. And today I have an outstanding guest who's going to help illustrate just the power of her presence and her beingness, and her expertise is going to speak to a lot of that. She's somebody who is part of the strategy, the structure, the brilliance, the brains behind some of the biggest names in business and in the personal development arena, like John Assaraf, Lisa Nichols, Paul Mitchell Company, Steve Harvey, right? And one of my personal favorites, Lee Richter, right? The longer I've been around Susie Carder, the more I'm impressed with how many people she has touched and helped and is behind the scenes pulling strings and been a part of launching many legacies and a big part of fine-tuning people's success. I could go on, but we want to hear from her and not me right now. So I want to bring her on and welcome in. Susie Carder, say hello.
What's up, guys? Thank you, Jim, so much for having me on and bringing me here and sharing me with your community, because this is one of my secret sauces, sales. I used to hate it, and now I love it. Yes. And you do have to come to fruition, right? Because not everybody's a natural born salesperson or business person, and you got to really understand the structure of it. And what I love about what you do and what you bring is just do this, you get this. Just do this, you get this. That's why we love each other. It's like we both two birds of a feather, my brother from another mother.
For sure. And, some of the things we're going to dive into, we're going to talk here for about 30 minutes or so, guys. And Susie's going to share some things with you from her expertise and from her legacy. And she's very impressive to me because I think the things that I love about her are the things that she's a lot of things that I'm not. Like, she's very, very organized, structured, detailed. She knows what she wants. She knows what it should look like, or what she wants it to look like, at least. And so it puts you on point. Like when you're in her world, you're like, okay, I got to make sure that all my ducks are in a row, because hers are. and it challenges you. It calls you up. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but I want to first just tap into, before we go into a little bit more of your story, just the thing that's obvious and ever present on everybody's mind. 2020. This has been an incredible
you just got to laugh.
year.
You got to laugh or cry.
And it's been a particularly interesting year for you. And so just give me your observation of 2020. What has this year been, and what have you been seeing?
Ooh, roller coaster of love. I don't know if it's roller coaster of love or, it's a thin line between love and hate. That's all I'm going to say. I think as an entrepreneur, what makes us entrepreneurs is our resiliency and our perseverance. And so when COVID hit, we all pivoted, right? We all went, ooh, whoa. I had 65 physical events booked this year. So I had just come off of 10 of those, January, February, and March, and then the country shut down. So I immediately went to my projections and went, if I don't have those, how am I going to do this? And started tweaking, right? Because what I didn't want to do is be in reaction management. I didn't want to let COVID run me, right? We have to look at, and this isn't the first time your business, our country has been in some kind of downfall, right? We've had recessions, depressions, tornadoes, hurricanes, things that have wiped this country out in many different ways. And so for me, this isn't my first rodeo. So I went back to the basics. You got to go back to the basics to go, okay, what are we going to sell? How are we going to sell it? How are we going to market it? Right. And once I market it, what am I going to do with them? And that looks all good on paper. right? On paper, it looks good. And I was freaking out with everybody else. But what I did have is a group of people that said, okay, let's weather the storm. So we completely shifted from an offline market to an online market. A really small percentage of our income would come directly from online. That was more just a marketing strategy. But now our income had to come from there. So we immediately shift from a live event to a virtual event. And, I was nervous. But the beautiful thing is I have an amazing team. Jim from Gain the Edge is part of my sales team, and marketing team. And we all hunkered down and said, here's what we're going to do. And look, I didn't know, right? There's that part you have to do everything that you know how to do and then trust, right? So we did that. Our online event was actually more successful than our offline event, which was unprecedented to me. So we had 150 people register, 122 people showed up, right? And consistently showed up every single day, cameras on, participating, which was amazing. And then what you want to know, that doesn't sound impressive, but here's what you want to know about me. I don't need a lot of people. I need the right people. I'm not interested in doing thousands of, having thousands of people on where I can't see you and I've got to go through screen to screen, or it's just a, webinar and I can't see you and make that relationship. Because what I do is transformational, right? I teach people money and make money, and how do you do that? So we closed $700,000 with, was it 85 qualified people, Jim? If I remember correctly.
Just 83 qualified buyers. And I actually want to get you to repeat that, because you said, it was not about how many people, it's about the right people. And I think people overlook that a lot. It's one of those sayings that just kind of gets tossed out, like authenticity. What does that really mean to have the right people in the room?
Listen, what I see, most of my clients have a lot of fans. Fans show up to their events. It's a low ticket, so they're showing up, but they're not consumers. I don't want the fans. I don't need fanfare. This is not about my ego. I've already done this. I've traveled over the world. I've gotten all the awards. I've gotten all the accolades. I'm about transformation. Let me help you make money in your business. Everything else is about my ego. And so, when Jim first met me, he said, well, how many people in our live event? I said, I only want 50. He's like, well, what are we going to sell? I'm like, oh, we're going to do $500,000. He's like, what? Let me see. Right. So again, I need the right people, not a lot of people. I want to really transform your business. And so we just took that model online and was able to have the same intimacy, the same engagement, the same enrollment, just by pivoting. Right. Then we're launching this new book called Power Your Profits. So it was supposed to come out in May. Right when COVID hit, they said, you know what? Simon & Schuster's the publisher, right? So it's not self-publishing. I got major backing from a big publisher. They said, we want to hold the book till September. Well, I had just invested a boatload of money into all the campaign and writing all the campaigns and all the drip funnels and all the stuff you have to do, and literally had to put the brakes on. So now this campaign I was doing, I had to stop and again, pivot and go, okay, don't get mad, just readjust it. So I readjust it. Then in the middle of this book launch, in the middle of building this tsunami, right after our live event, suddenly I'm in this excruciating pain. I find myself in the ER 3 times. I never go to the doctors 3 times. And they're like, we need to do emergency surgery. We got to take your gallbladder out. I'm like, I ain't got time for this. But I couldn't help it because I'm in physical pain. Here's what I do know is I built the doctor told me 7 to 14 days. He lied. It was 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I could not work. I would try and my body just hurt. My stomach hurt. So I'm like, I've got to trust my team. I have an amazing team. I have Jim's team. I got my team, right? I got my customer service. I just have to rest. And Jim, sales went up. Sales were consistent. Customer care was amazing. I'm like, thank God I did it again. Because I always build a business as if I'm going to sell that business. The only way you can truly run a business that's profitable and doesn't rely on you is find amazing people and let them do their job and systematize it along the way.
Amen.
Right. And putting that structure in place. So if you're gone, like God forbid, and this is still a new brand. This is our 2nd year. I left Lisa's company last year and launched this brand, this business. So it's still a new business. It doesn't have to take you forever to build $1 million brand. We did that our 1st year. So I want you to know that when you have the right team, the right systems, the right structure, the right know-how, then miracles can occur.
Amen to that. And I want you to tap into a little bit more of how did you get here? What's the legacy that brought you here? But what we're talking about the plan and being able to have the right systems and the processes. And again, I think these terms get thrown out so much that people don't even pay attention to them anymore. And I think this is what saved you, through this year. This is what saved us as we move through your campaigns and your events, because you immediately went to, what's my budget? What's my strategy? What's my plan? If I can't make the money here, where do we need to make it up? But there was a tangible process and a plan that we could literally move stuff from here and then find it over here. And most people don't have that. So what are they missing if they don't have a plan put together?
Well, first you got to go back to step one and put the plan together. My plan is the foundation of everything that I do. And when I say plan, I'm talking about, so when I hired Jim's company, the first thing they said is, who's your ideal client? Who's the avatar, right? I just pulled that right out of my plan. He said, well, what's your sales projection? Oh, I just pulled that right out of my plan, right? He says, well, how are we getting those people? Oh, I just pulled that right out of my plan. He said, well, do you have copy? Oh, I just pulled that right out of my plan. So you build it once and you repurpose it 100 times. So you don't build this plan. Most people write a business plan, they stick it in their computer. I'm not talking about that plan. I'm talking about a living, breathing document that I use every single day. And especially when chaos occurs, I got to go back to it to go, am I cuckoo or is this going to work? Right? Your financial plan. In the book, I have a chapter called Math is Money, Money is Fun, because 88% of small businesses are not making money. They're not making money, meaning the company may make money, but I'm not paying myself a proper paycheck. So I'm not even paying myself a paycheck that if I went to go work for Jim, he would probably pay more than you're being paid as an entrepreneur, right? Because we're just in the hustle and I'm making money, but you're not really making money, right? So my goal is to go, we've got to be in this conversation. You have to be fiscally responsible. And I get it. I wasn't when I first started business. I love shoes, so I bought a lot of them. Budget, don't tell me no. A budget was no, right? And at that time, I was working with my husband, so he was telling me to be on a budget. I'm like, you are not the boss of me, right? So then I had to learn and be responsible for my business to go, how do I make a bigger impact? Because the numbers are just showing us what impact you're making in the world. So if you're not making any money, you're not making any impact. It goes hand in hand. If I don't make any money, I can't transform the world. I can't transform small businesses. I can't help you get to the 1% club. I need to help you get to the 1% club. And so we've got to make money. We've got to sell products and services. You got to let go of the fear, or hold on to the fear, but hold on to courage and jump. Just do it anyways. Find the right coaches, find the right people, find the right system. What I love about Power Your Profits, it's a system. I've been doing this for 25 years. Right? And people go, how did you have $1 million launch year? I just followed my system. It took me 30 years to build it. It took me 30 years to understand it. It took me a lot of wasted money, hundreds of thousands of dollars of wasted money, hiring the wrong people, not following systems, just making it up, being sparkle, butterfly. I can do it. That's not a system.
So that's a perfect segue. Let's talk about that a little bit, because I get this a lot from people who, when I talk about different sales processes or strategies or things to think about, thinking bigger, they always say, well, it's easy for you to think about, Jim. It's easy for you to do. You're making lots of money. You have a big business. You have a team. Like, you don't get it. I didn't start out this way, right? And so same thing with you. People are like, well, that's easy for you. You've worked with all these great people. So of course you could launch $1 million business right away. Would you tell people how you actually got here?
Listen, when I launched this business a year ago, because people think I got the hookup. Lisa gave you the hookup. John gave you the hookup. Steve Harp. Nobody gave me the hookup. When I left Lisa Nichols' company, I spent 10 years building her brand, right? We took it to a $10 million company. And I say we because it was me and the team, and we built that business together. When I left, I had 5,000 people in my Facebook account because those were my friends, right? I had no database whatsoever. I had none of the copy built whatsoever, right? So I started from ground zero. Zero. I got no hookup. I really looked at who were the affiliate partners that I could work with, meaning who were the people that were like-minded and how could I serve that community? And then Benjamin Franklin always says, take the coins from your purse, invest them in your mind, and your mind will fill your purse overflowing. I was like, who do I need as my strategic coach and partner to help me get here? Didn't do this alone, right? Because I'm going, who's 10 steps ahead of me? Who can make those relationships quicker, faster for me, right? But that's all an investment. So I invested in my infrastructure. I invested in advertising, right? I spend more per lead than the average person because I don't want a bunch of people. I want the right people. If you're spending $1 a lead, you're just getting fans. Now, okay, you can build your fan base. There's an importance to that, but I need fans to turn into customers. So let's be strategic about how you're spending money. I would much rather spend $10, $15, $20 on a lead, but they're a lead that would actually wants what I have. My job, Jim's job, is to convert those leads, right? That's a good sales strategy, but a sales strategy is systematic. It doesn't just magically happen. So I want you to look at, you're not talking to the right people. If you're having conversations and you're not closing people, either you suck at closing, which is fair, or 2, you're not talking to the right people. Quit wasting your time. Find out, take a minute and go, who is that ideal qualified people that loves and adores me and that can write me a check? Whatever the number is, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000. I don't care what the number is, but go talk to those people. Quit wasting your time to accumulate these people so you feel good. That's your ego. That's your she-go talking. I don't need my ego rubbed, right? I need money in my bank account so I can take care of my family. I need money in my bank account so I can take care of my community. I need money in my bank account so I can make a bigger difference in the world. It's not being selfish. It's being fiscally responsible.
So let me ask you to break this down.
Let's get it, Jim.
Let me ask you to break this down like a third grader, because I want people to really understand this.
Yes.
You're talking about lead cost, client acquisition cost. And it's something, again, all these terms, people talk about it, but my business model, we've been blessed to look in the back of a lot of people's businesses. And it's stunning how many people do not know how much they pay to acquire a client.
Right.
What is client acquisition cost? And what's the fastest way somebody can figure out how to determine what they're paying for a client right now?
So you want to look at, so there's a couple different numbers. And again, in chapter 8, math is money, money is fun. I give you the spreadsheets. I give you the formula, because I don't want to feel like a ding dong when I meet with Jim and he's like, what's your lead cost? I don't know. Right? I don't know what that is. Right? So on average, right, that's the high lead cost and the low lead cost comes together. It's about $22. I look at, what did I spend on that campaign? How much did I spend on that campaign? How many people came in from that campaign? And then I divide, and that's the number, right? So it doesn't have to be hard. Now, a lot of times you're spending too little. You might get a lot of leads in, but they're not buying anything. If they're not buying anything but the first thing, then that might have been a free thing. They're not the right leads. So we want to look at lifetime value of the customer, because it's not the $25, that $25 lead, 22, mine's 22, that $22 lead, can they spend $5,000, $10,000, $10,000, $30,000, and not right off the bat, right? There's a relationship building that occurs there. So I want you to look at, it's the numbers just tell us a story, right? And the sooner you get familiar with the numbers, the more empowered you will be inside of your business. Now, I used to hate this, Jim. I did not like it. I was so bad at this that literally I could not balance my checkbook, and I would go close my account and open a new one and try again. I'm like, okay, I can't do that. I'm trying again. And then my banker said, what are you doing? I'm like, I can't balance my checkbook. They're like, why don't you just get QuickBooks? I don't know what's QuickBooks, right? And so I finally got a system. Then I'm like, this is genius. From that day, I balanced my checkbook to the penny, right? Then I would get all these, my accountants would give me stuff and I'm like, I don't understand. That talks about the past. That doesn't do anything for my future. I need to play a game called How Do We Make Money? That's my game I play. How are we going to make money? You want to make $1 million? Let's look at how you're going to make $1 million. How many leads do we need to have to come in? How many leads are you converting? So when you talk to 10 people, how many people say yes? Just look at that number. Out of 10 people, how many people say yes? Is that 1? Is that 2? Is that 5? Right? That starts to have you look at your closing effectiveness. And if it's none, we got an issue. And the issue is either the quality of the lead or your sales process. Really simple. So I want you to look at, if you don't analyze it, it's like, why don't you just open your wallet and throw me all that money, or open your wallet and throw it out the window? Because if we're not looking at it, then we're just randomly spending money.
For sure. And it's a never ending process. The more you fine tune it, the more things you see, and then that gives you more holes to plug and more opportunities. So it's always, you're always looking at, how do I improve this part? Then how do I improve this part? How do I improve this part? But you have to have the data. You got to have the information. Otherwise, you're just guessing at everything.
Right.
So, you're a big thinker. you're a big energy person. You're all about let's make the millions. You know, Cindy and I were always talking, hey, how do we make $1 billion? You know, we're always thinking big. And I think I love that and I'm all for it. I want everybody thinking big. But sometimes we poison the well because we get people who only want big and they don't take the medium step, right? Like somebody like, you know, I want to lose 50 pounds. Well, what if you lose 3 pounds this week? Well, that's not 50. Okay, well, you got to start with something, right? You want to make $1 million and you're making $50,000 right now. What's wrong with making 100,000 as a first target? Or should we always be thinking about how do we get to $1 million?
Well, I think it's twofold, right? There's the short term and there's the long term, right? So in the short term, if we're going to baby step. So what I do with my clients, I always show them, you want to make $1 million, great. Here's how we're going to do it. Do you think you can do that? And then it's usually like, no. Okay, great. So let's dial it back because I don't want to overwhelm you. Let's dial it back to go, what would it take to make 100? If you're making 50, we doubled your sales, right? If we make 200, what's that look like? So if you look at business as a game and a game that you want to win in, I love to win. I'm very competitive. And so I'm competitive with myself. I'm competitive with my team in a healthy way, right? It motivates me. So we're in the middle of a campaign, then COVID hits, right? Right now, Jim and I are in the middle of a campaign and the campaign was not working. It was flopping. So I'm like, what do I need to do to make this happen? Like you got to go back to guerrilla marketing. You got to go back to the hustle muscle. I can't sit on my laurels. I can't have an event and have Jim show up and I have no people, like, or the right people. That's my job and my responsibility. So I want you to look at sometimes our busyness is keeping us from our business. And sometimes, I'm going to say it because it's the kind of coach I am, we get lazy not wanting to do the hustle because it's above us. I'm sorry, I will always hustle. I'll roll up my sleeves. I will work right beside you. Like Jim and I mean, we love to do this, right? But we're at an event together. We're doing an event together. We're in it. I'm not like, that's Jim's job. No, it's teamwork, right? I remember having a physical location and we had a big training center. We had a 2,000 square foot training center, Jim. And so we would hold events at this big, beautiful office. We would hold events there. And then I would go in the bathroom and I'm like, oh my God, this bathroom is filthy. And I'd clean up the bathroom and I mean, filthy. And a client came in and she said, Susie, what are you doing? I'm like, the bathroom was filthy. You can't see this. She goes, you can't do that. I'm like, yes, I can do that. This is my house. I don't want you seeing this. Right? And to go, but you're the boss. But you're my client. Like, it's not above you. Right now in this season, nothing is above you. If you want to make an impact in this world, nothing is above you. Be radical for people's transformation. Stand in the place of I'm willing to do whatever it takes so Jim has his breakthrough. So Susie has her breakthrough. Elise has her breakthrough. Sam has her breakthrough. Cindy has her breakthrough. A lot of you are sitting back waiting for somebody else to do it. Well, I'm not doing you. You need to do you. You need to be more committed to your business, more committed to your goals than I am, right? Than the person next to you. You don't just sit back and it happens. Every person that's up to anything in life has someone holding them accountable, pushing them, supporting them, picking them up when they fall down, going, okay, pull up your big girl panties, get back out there and do it again. Because I, like you, I could have been in COVID fatigue. I could have been drinking with the rest of them, like, woohoo, party. The country is shut down, right? There's those people, there's people that are going, what the hell happened and when is it over? It's not, it's just different. So I want you to look at what are you willing to do that gets you outside of your comfort zone. What's juicy about this pandemic, Jim, is it has leveled the playing field. Yes. People who have been doing business for years and on the top of their game, we're all back down to square one. It is new playing field. So if you're just starting a business right now, if you're at that precipice, it's a level playing field, but you got to be radical because I'm running and I'm in shape. Jim's running and he's in shape, right? We've been playing this game. So if you're not in shape, you better get up earlier than me. You better stay later than me to get that workout in so you can win with us. I'm not winning. We're winning together.
Game on. So I love all of that. And are you guys excited? I mean, I want to be feeling this. That you should be wanting this, right? And I learned a long time ago that you want something to happen for you, you start surrounding yourself with people who have what you want or are doing the things that you want. And everybody else is secondary because you can only focus on so many things at a time. So it's time to start looking at where's the game I'm playing? Are the people around me playing the game I'm playing or helping me get there? And if not, how do I put myself in that environment? And Susie's got something coming up here, an amazing event, an amazing opportunity to get yourself in an environment like that. One, first of all, would you want to spend some time around Susie in this energy, being bathed in it, being just hooked up? This is who she is. This is not some show. That's Susie. That's who she is all the time.
I'm pretty consistent. I'm either going to drive you up a wall or you are going to love me. They'll be like, oh, she too much.
Yes. So I recommend that you take a look at what she's got coming up here. That would be a great way for you to be able to take a test drive and get yourself in an environment. Now, I can speak to this firsthand because being part of her team and being helping support events, she attracts amazing people, amazing business owners and entrepreneurs and very successful people who are doing big things. Those are the people you want to be around. Those are the people you want as your running mates and the people to be chasing and pacing you. So Susie, why don't you tell them about how they can be a part of that?
Awesome. So look, we are in the middle of a crazy book launch and Jim and I are being radical. I said, I want to do something so amazing for this group because I know Jim, right? Jim, surround yourself with people who are up to big things in the world. So I'm like, let's do something crazy radical. So we're launching the book, Power Your Profits. And this is my blueprint to build a multi-million-dollar company. How did I launch a $1 million brand year one? I followed the blueprint called Power Your Profits, right? So if you don't know how to sell, this book isn't like a linear book, right? Chapter 1, chapter 2. Look, no. If you need to know how to sell, go to chapter 6 and pull out my stair-step questions and go do that, right? If you need to put your money together, go straight, skip everything else and go to chapter 8, Math is Money, Money is Fun. Because this is a working document. My clients say, Susie, this is a business Bible. So whatever you need, go to that chapter. You can read it. So for my linear people that want to follow the system, right? And then us creatives that go 1, 2, zebra, elephant, 3, 4, right? Just dig in and do the work. So the book is $20, right? Plus shipping and handling. So it's about 25 bucks. Now, bonus. There's some other bonuses and those are juicy. But Jim and I want to do something so radical that I have a 3-day business summit. Now, let me tell you who's in the room. I have 7-time Olympic athletes that are in the room that are coming to me as their business coach saying, I'm a top performer in my field. I need to learn how to be a top performer in business. We've got doctors, we've got attorneys, we've got speakers, authors, writers, salespeople. We got startup businesses, and we have Lee Ritker, which Jim talked about before, doing billion-dollar deals. When she speaks, I'm a student, and I got my pen and paper like Lee speaking, and I'm Lee's coach. So I've been Lee's business coach for 7 years. But look, what she's playing on a whole nother level. So when you purchase the book, which is ridiculous at Bananaramas, for $20, you get a ticket to our Big Money Business Summit, which is 3 days of this on fire. 3 days of this, like tangible, specific, measurable information to implement in your business tomorrow, because that's the kind of entrepreneur I am. I need to learn something today and do it tomorrow. I ain't got time to wait. You ain't got time to wait. This is your destiny. So I'm going to invite you to buy a book for $20. Come be with us, spend time with us to learn about your business and take it to the next level.
Amen. So here's how it's going to work. We got a link we're going to drop here in the Facebook thread in the group, so you'll get it. It'll also be in the show notes for the podcast. And you're going to register, you get your book, and then you'll get a contact with an invitation to get to the event. So first step, get the book. The book alone is going to be a game changer. The event, here's the magical part and about this, watching Susie do this and watching her brilliance unfold. She is the best. There's a lot of people who do things similar, but I have never seen anybody put the system so tight and clean around this. The book is a process. It's a strategy. The event is built around the same strategies of the book, right? And then everything she's doing in her business model is built right around that book. So literally you have your guideline and your blueprints, and then it's all about just putting it together. And it's awesome. So you'll see it at work. Even if you just show up for the event to watch the book unfold, that alone is worth the price of admission. So
It is juicy, juicy, juicy. This is how I made all those clients that Jim was talking about before millionaires, is the book, right? Simple systems, implement it, do it. It will change your life. I guarantee it. If you do it, you can read it. Reading it's not going to make a difference. I need you to read it, do it, implement it, and keep coming back, right? Stay in this community, stay fed, right? Stay getting what you need. Because every time I go to the next level, like, what else do I need to go to the next level?
now, what about the person who's listening to this right now and watching and saying, you know, I've done 45 webinars since COVID hit. I've opted into all kinds of free stuff. I got more than my fill. I got books I haven't even read yet. So I'll get this book and I'll get to it. What do you say to that person right now?
All about the money, honey. If you want to make some money, you want to turn that dream into a reality, you want to quit talking about it, you want to be about it, you want to get it done, you need to come to the Big Money Business Summit. You need to get this book and use this, the Big Power Your Profits, as your roadmap, right? You'll use the other people's content. I think that's great, right? I am a lifelong learner. I am an advocate. I have a multi-million-dollar education, you know, so I did it this way. Books were my first mentors. And then when I could afford a seminar, I went to a seminar. And then when I could afford a class, I took a class. And then I could afford a coach, I had hired a coach. But I've had 7 multi-million-dollar companies. I've had 2 $10 million companies. I've helped 100,000 entrepreneurs make money. This is the real deal. It's not some sprinkle fairy dust. It's not some idea and concept. It's what I do day in and day out, is find the money in your business, help you leverage that money, and help you live your dream and live it on purpose.
Amen. All right. So if you're excited about this, I jump in. If you're thinking about it, jump in. It's $25. You're going to go spend that on Starbucks in the next couple of days. So just skip Starbucks for a day, go buy the book, and then you'll be able to buy a Starbucks later, right? So handle your business. I want you really thinking about this and taking action, especially while you're at home on COVID rest, or you're trying to figure out your solutions. If you're still shopping through all these free webinars and all these free trainings, it's time to get serious about taking action in a specific direction. And if you're going to do that, I can't think of too many better places for you to be than at the Big Money Business Summit with Susie, with her tribe. We'll be there, be able to connect with us. I want you to win. And that's the only reason we do this. I'm not just here, I got things I can be doing. I'm sharing this with you because you need to know Susie. You need to get your brain around the concepts and the strategies she teaches. And if nothing else, I often invest for one reason, and that's access. And I want to get into the environment where I have access to other people who are rocking it and crushing it in ways that I'm not. And you need to be in this room so you can surround yourself with people like that. So Susie,
what I see, Jim, is usually what stops people is they're afraid of their success or they're afraid of their failure, right? And fear leads you to believe that where I am right now is the safe place and going forward is a risk. But the truth is, you're always at risk when you're always at risk of stagnating, and you're always at risk of missing out on your own destiny. So I want you to look at whatever the fear is. I need you to jump. We can't transform your life and your business if you don't take action, if you don't do something different to get something different. And I promise you that if you do this and you actually take it on, your life will be unrecognizable. I know I keep saying that, and that sounds like a shtick, but it is not a shtick. I've seen it over and over and over again.
Awesome. So hopefully you're in. We'll look forward to seeing you at the event, and take advantage of the book and just let it soak into you. Make sure that you actually read it, because it won't do you any good sitting on the shelf with all these other ones. Right. So Susie, while people are contemplating all of that and figuring out how they're going to get to your event, which they get to do from their own home, hallelujah. I got a question for you, because I'm actually going to I started this out as just some interesting, fun question. And now I've gotten so many fascinating answers that I'm going to make it a book. What are you doing in your personal life that has bled over into your business and helped you in ways you didn't even know was going to help you?
Ooh, that's a good one, Jim. So here's what's been challenging for me in my life. The work starts for me when I stop working. So for me, this is not work. This is fun. This is play. This is like, oh my God, I can do this all day long. And then the minute I'm not working, I'm like, let me call Jim. Let me do this. Let me do that. So this has been a huge learning lesson for me, is taking care of me and making me a priority outside of work. And so I just bought a vacation home up in Oregon, and it is beautiful. They're serene, and the time to reflect, the time to stop, the time. Look, I have crappy internet up there, so I can't work. Like, it's like, God, we bought this house, right? And then God said, and you will not have internet. I will shut that down. So it's pretty rural where I'm at, but I'm right on the river, which is river's my backyard, and allows me time to be in gratitude for what's to come, right? What to bring about, right? Everything that I've created, I've invented in my mind. I invented in my mind first, and it takes solace. It takes meditation time, prayer time. I'm a big believer in prayer, meditation, and allowing God to tell me what to do. You call it whatever you want. I call it God. And everything that I've done, when I look back at my 30 years in business, it's been led by me being obedient to God, me being obedient to the message. I don't like to be obedient all the time because, sometimes that is crazy stuff that I'm told. And so in my solace, which I'm really disciplining myself to take time for me. December, I'm taking the whole month off so that I can sit and reflect and be with my family and take that time. But also I know that that's recreation and invention. So as much as we play hard in business, I need you to play hard in your personal life so that you have more to give to me, you have more to give to Jim, you have more to give to your clients. Because when you're empty, you're empty. So that's what I'm up to in my personal life.
Awesome. I love it. I've had so many different answers that people have said, they started Taekwondo and all of a sudden their business took off because they started having more personal discipline, more engagement in relationships. I've had people who've gone mountain climbing and all of a sudden started overcoming fears in their business, or just all kinds of different things. So it's going to be, it's fascinating. I love that perspective. So diving in, playing hard in your personal life will help you be able to win in business, right? And think about that. It's a great perspective. I love it. All right, so we're going to sign off here. I thank you all for being part of our world. Thank you for trusting us to be part of your success team. And Susie, on behalf of Susie Carder, don't let the environment determine what your success is. You get to impact the environment and determine what the successful path is for you, right? We'll see you on the other side.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Jim.
All right, bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Make More Sales podcast. If you like what you're hearing, you'll definitely want to check out our Make More Sales Facebook group, where you'll find more amazing content, including free sales training and live content happening every single week. So make sure to follow the link below to join. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show, and share it with your friends. That way, more people can learn how to make more sales without getting better at selling. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.